Hey, Tripp Kramer here from trippadvice.com. And do you want to know what the death of attraction is? I will tell you right now. It is predictability. That is right. When you are predictable, doesn't matter when you first meet a girl, doesn't matter if you've been in a relationship or a marriage for years, when you're predictable, you are boring. So what is the opposite of predictable? Well, I guess you could say unpredictable, but I would also say intrigue. Doing something that gets a girl interested. And so with this idea, what I want to share with you today is an amazing text message that you could use that can build intrigue when you are texting and talking with a girl. Now, before I tell you this text message, may I remind you that you cannot build attraction over text. Yeah, I guess some guys have been able to do it, but what really is the point of texting is to get her to meet up. And also to get her to respond. So if you haven't been able to get her to respond yet, then you haven't intrigued her or you haven't attracted her from the very beginning when you first met her. So this text message that I'm going to be telling you today is going to be one that is going to spark that intrigue and get her to respond. So this is something that you could use if you haven't heard from the girl in a while, or maybe you guys went on a few dates and you wanted to follow up with something to get her to respond so you guys can meet up again. That's what this text message is used for. It's not going to be to build attraction. It's just to get the conversation going and get it flowing so then eventually you can ask her out and get her in person. That's the whole point of texting. If you haven't heard me say that a billion times on my other videos on texting, but that is the point. Here is the text message, and it goes like this. You're going to say to her, "Can you keep a secret?" Okay, that's a text message. That's the little weird text message that will really build that intrigue. Can you keep a secret? I mean, think about it. If you're ever around someone and someone says to you, "Can you keep a secret?" automatically your ears perk up and you're like, wait a minute. Yeah, what's the secret? What is this person going to say to me? Same thing works over text. And again, this is going to be used to garner a response from her. Now, I want you to try this out. And again, I told you why you're going to be using this text message, but also you're probably wondering what the follow-up is. Well, there's a bunch of different follow-ups. And of course, you have to have a follow-up, right? If you say to a girl, "Can you keep a secret?" well, you better have a secret, or at least something funny to go along with it, because she is probably going to be responding to this text message. So I'm going to offer up a couple of really good follow-ups that you can use this. But really, I encourage you to use your own. You can use some of these that I'm telling you right now, but I want you to take the basic idea and the concept of the follow-ups that I'm using here and then try to make one up for your own. Okay, so here's a few of them right now. If you've been dating her for a while or you guys have been on a couple dates, this is already where you know for sure that she's interested in you. You can say to her, "I think I have a little crush on you." Okay, that could be your follow-up. She's going to say yes. Like, you're going to say, "Can you keep a secret?" She's going to say yes, and you say, "I think I have a little crush on you." Now again, this is not something you're going to be using if you guys have only texted a few times and you've never seen her. This is something you might use after a couple of dates. It gets things flirty, gets things flowing. So you can say something like that. You can also use this for humor, right? So you can have something that's obviously not a secret. An example of this might be, you say to her, "Can you keep a secret?" She says, "Sure," or she says, "Yeah," and you say, "Well, I cheated on my 8th grade spelling test. Sigh. ... I had to get that off my chest," right? So something funny like that. Maybe not exactly that one, but anything that's obviously not a secret. Again, this is just getting her to respond and getting the conversation flowing again. Another one that you could use that just keeps conversation going is she responds to it, and then you say, "Good." And then you say, ... how was your weekend, right? So this is a little joke saying, well, I don't have a secret, and you're just basically saying, "Good, I was just checking to see if you could keep one." And then you say, "How was your weekend?" or follow up with another question, or even better, follow up with something that you're up to that's interesting instead of just asking her something. Now, you might get a response where you say to her, "Can you keep a secret?" and she says, "No." Well, in that case, what I want you to do is I want you to say, "Me neither, but I'm going to tell you anyway." Right? So you're just going to agree with her. You're going to say, "Me neither, but I'm going to tell you anyway." And then you can follow up with one of those, or again, something that you're coming up with on your own. Again, the whole point of this is just to get her to respond and then eventually get her out on a date. Now, if this stuff is all confusing to you in the sense that you still don't know how to attract a woman, or you don't even have a number to text, or you've been texting her, or you even use this text message and it doesn't work, well, the problem is you're not getting girls attracted and you're not getting them invested in you. So here's what I want you to do. If these are still problems for you, I want you to check out my program called Hooked at getherhooked.com. And I'm going to put a link in the description below this video. But basically, this is a program that teaches you step by step how to get a girl hooked on you. And I give you some of my formulas, some of my very best techniques that makes it so texting a girl is super simple to get her to meet up because you've already done the necessary things to get her hooked on you. So in order to learn more about that, like I said, go to getherhooked.com. And here's what I want you to do. Right now, I want you to write down below what a good follow-up would be. And I know there's going to be some jokesters and all that stuff, but I want some serious responses. What would you put if you said, can you keep a secret? And she says yes. What would be your follow-up? Let's put some down there so we can all kind of learn from each other and have some good responses. And also, I want you to test this out. Test this out, send this to a girl, and let's see what kind of responses you get. So go do that. Go check out Hooked, and I'll see you on the next video.